Well, hello! It has been a long time since I showed my face on camera, but this is my new house. I'm very excited to be here. We've been here for about a month at this point. That's not what this video is about though. Today, I'm coming at you with a collab with my dear friend Maggie from Maggie's Makeup Medley. We've collabed before and I had an idea for a video and I saw her recent video about Colourpop and what they launched in July. I'll link that down below. And when I watched it, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be a great video to do with Maggie. And so I reached out and she said, that sounds great, and here we are. So what is the video, you may ask? This video is about my dream collab for Colourpop and what I would like to see from the brand in the future. So if you're curious about what I want to see from Colourpop and what my collab looks like, as well as what's on my eyes, then go ahead and just keep on watching. So, drum roll please. My dream collab with Colourpop is none other than Adventure Time, which my shirt is from today. I tried to dress for the occasion. If you know me or you've seen any of my early content, you may know Adventure Time is my favorite show of all time, and so I would love to see a collaboration between Adventure Time and Colourpop, or really any brand, but I feel like Colourpop is the most likely candidate. So I'm going to talk about what I would like to see in this collab and some things that I feel like have been lacking from Colourpop collabs and Colourpop as a whole today. Also, quick side note, if my voice sounds a little bit weird, I'm getting over being sick, so sorry in advance. So if we know anything about a good makeup collaboration, and especially a Colourpop collaboration, it has to include some eyeshadow. So I created some chaos in this Z palette right here. We've got what are different quads. It's not a full palette, but different quads that I want Colourpop to create and sell for this collaboration. So let's roll footage on each of these quads. I'll swatch them out, explain what I'm looking for, and let's do that now. All right, here are my Adventure Time quads for the Colourpop collab. So if you have been on my channel before, you may know that out of all of the Colourpop eyeshadows, my favorite are the quads, the little tiny quads that are in the clear plastic packaging from like the astrology collection and things like that. I love those babies. And I know that Colourpop really messed up the quads when it came to the Animal Crossing collab. And I feel like ever since then, they've kind of drawn back from that. Which is a real shame because everyone loves a good quad, right? So for my collab with Adventure Time, I would love to bring the quad back, but do it right. What I mean when I say do it right is not just do completely monochromatic palettes all around, really dull, boring colors, or glitters. We are not putting glitters in any of these palettes, although we are opting for their more sparkly shimmer formula. I've got some that lean a little bit monochromatic, some that completely don't, but each of them are for a specific character. So I figured we could walk through each one. I might pop up a picture of a look I've done with it, if I've done a look, and we'll just go from there. But first, if you have guesses for which characters, which quad, before I reveal them, go ahead and leave those comments down below. Let's see if you're right. So I guess I'll point out, these are each quad. So we've got one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. But then we've also got this guy, which I couldn't fit as like a square, so he's down the side, but each of these would be square compacts. Each quad would be the character's face on them, and this is actually a series of canvases that I've been working on. So like here is what the Jake palette would look like. Obviously much smaller, but you know, you would have this zoomed in picture of his face. And like, this is what the LSP quad might look like, you know, a zoomed in LSP face. I've been working on these canvases for a room in my house, but I want to note, I totally did steal this design from a wonderful artist over on Etsy, and I'll link the shop below and post a picture of their work. So just throwing it out there, if Colourpop did decide to do this collab, hopefully like they could work with that artist specifically and do some really cool stuff. But if not, go check it out. They've got some cool canvases for sale. Enough talking, let's go ahead and get into it. So this first quad here is Marceline the Vampire Queen. So for this one, we went dark and vampy. I figured this would be like a great gothic girl kind of quad with the dark blue, the silver, which if you know, you know, I love the silver and it comes from Colourpop. So this is kind of setting the precedent for the quality that I would expect from this collab from Colourpop. Very sparkly, very pigmented, lots of shine and dimension. This is from the Bretman Rock Wet palette from a really long time ago, but it's a great, great silver, and that's kind of the expectations I would have for this collab. Next up, we've got a black, but I would like to see a metallic black from Colourpop. Could be so beautiful. This one that I've got has some sparkles in it, but I'd like to see something even more metallic to smudge out a look, smoke it out, make it really like nighttime club appropriate. But here's my version of that I have on hand. And then lastly, of course, we've got to have a bright red matte. So like I was saying, this is definitely like an emo girl dream quad, or at least it was circa me in like 2009. So here is the Marceline quad. Next to her, we've got the Ice King, aka Simon. So I wanted to, of course, highlight blue because that's a big part of Simon's character design. I would actually like to go a little bit deeper than this blue that I've swatched, but that's actually like the best option I have personally. If you don't know, blue, not my personal favorite. Next, I would love to get a bright, punchy blue shimmer with a little bit of dimension, as you can see here. Again, we're sticking with that sparklier shimmer formula that we know Colourpop can do because they've done it in the past. This next shade may be throwing some of you for a little bit of a loop. It's like what I'm envisioning being a kind of red and gold shifting shadow to represent the crown that the Ice King wears. I thought that it actually played really well with the blue mattes and could be interesting to kind of change up the looks that you can do with this palette. And I just think that it also represents the character really well. I'd love to see some sparkly, shifty duochromes from Colourpop. So this is, you know, my submission for that. And then lastly, we've got this light blue matte, again, kind of going back to that blue theme. Next to the Ice King, we've got a very purple heavy quad for LSP. So this first shade is an iridescent yellow to represent that yellow star in LSP's forehead. Then we've just got a variety of purples, and this is actually the quad that I am wearing today. I find that the purple and yellow, since they are kind of contrasting colors, they work really well together on the eye, and the yellow is subtle enough to make it quote unquote wearable, right? So, you know, this one probably out of all of them is a very simple look. You can really see like what this would look like on the eyes, but I can see this purple one being really, really popular. And I know when I showed Maggie, this was one that she really liked too. So now we come to this one along the side, and this is to represent our favorite robot, Demo. So we've got those blue tones that are visible in BMO's design, but this last shade that I've got is actually like a green yellow kind of duochrome, which I thought played well with the teals, but also kind of drew in some other elements from BMO's character design without making it so monochromatic. And I also love these more like muted blues if I'm going to wear a blue. So personally, I really like this one. And I could see it being a big seller for Colourpop. It's kind of like a condensed version of the High Tide palette from a while ago. We'll switch to my other hand for the bottom row of quads. Next up, we've got our main character, Finn the human. So I picked this yellow shade to kind of represent Finn's luscious locks. We've got this white to green iridescent shade to represent his hat, a bright green shade with a little bit of a gold to represent his backpack, and then a bright blue to represent his outfit. And this is a really fun one to me. I like the idea of the yellow and blue mattes because you can blend them out to create green on the eyes. So it's a lot more versatile than you may think. And I think it really, really encapsulates the character too and could create some fun, bright summer looks. You'll notice I put quite a few iridescent shades in here, almost this one too, this green down here. And the reason for that is I feel like we haven't really seen Colourpop dip its toes into these iridescent shades, and I would love to see that a little bit more from the brand, as well as those duochromes and those really sparkly shimmers. You'll also notice I did not put any mattes with shimmer in this palette because that is something I would like the brand to steer away from, especially for this Adventure Time collab. Next to Finn, we've got Princess Bubblegum, and this is the other color story that I have on my eyes today. So we start off with like this purpley pink color to kind of represent some of her dress. Then we've got a very light pink color with a golden shift in it, which I thought could kind of represent her light pink skin, but also add a little bit more dimension to this palette. We've got a bright pink. This is from Looksy. It's not marketed as a multi-chrome, but to me it's got some multi-chrome vibes. I would love to see Colourpop dip its toes into multi-chrome-esque shadows. Will that happen? Probably not, but this is a $3 shadow from Looksy, so it definitely could be done on Colourpop's budget, and I think it would be so cool to see. So that's something else I would love to see from this collab. And again, a very nice compact color story for Bubblegum. I can envision a few different looks even with just these 4 shadows, but there's a little something different from just a straight up pink palette, right? I don't know, at least to me there is, but let me know what you think down below. Last but not least, we have my favorite character from the show, which is Jake the dog. And for this, I did decide to stick with more of a monochromatic yellow moment. I thought about throwing in a black, but honestly, I just thought that the looks that came from it with a black would be a little bit more challenging than if we just stuck to yellow. So it's a mostly shimmer quad with like a light yellow. I was hoping for like a bright yellow shimmer. I don't really have anything quite like that in my collection, but a bright yellow shimmer, a white shimmer, and then a deeper gold shimmer with a nice bright jade colored yellow matte to balance out any of the looks, whether you decide to go deeper or brighter with it. I thought that this one may be nice for more neutral lovers, and it kind of gives them an avenue to go down without it being the same old that Colourpop always does. And really, that's what I was trying to do with each of these palettes. I wanted to do something that's different for Colourpop. You know, these dark colors all together in a quad is something that I feel like we haven't really seen Colourpop do. They stray away from these dark tones. Even in the Star Wars palette, which should have embraced these a lot more, we still saw them kind of backing away from it. Something like monochromatic with a twist, with a fun pop, kind of the opposite of like the 2016 warm tone palette with a pop of blue. This time we've got a blue quad with a pop of warm tone. The purple one is definitely similar to stuff that Colourpop has done, but I'd love to see a condensed version with something a little bit different. Same with the teal. Over here we've got some really fun, colorful quads going on. And all in all, I think that you can do looks together with these, but I think that there's a market for each one separately that Colourpop hasn't really tapped into yet. And I think it'd be a great opportunity for such a vibrant series like Adventure Time. There are some things beyond just eyeshadow that I would like to see in this collaboration. And the first is an acceptable lip gloss with a lemon scent for our dear friend Earl of Lemongrab, who is famous for screaming unacceptable, which I will not try to emulate since, again, I'm healing from sickness. I would love to see a new gloss formula from Colourpop for this release. They have the like Luxe Gloss now, but those are very thick and sticky and really truly unacceptable. And so I'd like to see a thinner, more reminiscent of like the Kopari glosses, where it feels hydrating a little bit, it's slippy and not sticky whatsoever. But of course, instead of the coconut scent like Kopari, it's gotta be lemon scent with a nice lemongrab art on the actual like packaging. So there are a few other lip products that I think would be great for this collection. The next one is I want a Peppermint Butler lip balm, and like in the pot that they do. I got the one from the Avatar collection. My fiance got it for me, and it is pretty nice. And the flavor of it is like really, really good. It tastes like an Earl Grey latte to me. But I would love for them to do like a peppermint flavored or scented lip balm in a pot. And the reason I'd like that is because you could put the actual Peppermint Butler art right on the top because he's a circle and it fits perfectly. So I thought that would be another great lip product. And it comes from a formula that I already like from the brand. The last lip product that I would like to see is a plumping lip gloss. And I would like it to be a like cinnamon kind of spicy plumping lip gloss. And I'd like it to be like a bright red orange kind of thing for Flame Princess. So of course it makes sense with the character, you know, she's hot and spicy, and so it'd be a great like representation of her character as a makeup product. I was thinking it could be something kind of like the cherry version of the like Fenty plumping lip gloss, something along those lines color-wise at least, but also like formula-wise as well. And I would like it to be an applicator with the doe foot, moving away from the lip glosses in the tubes that are plumping that Colourpop has. I've tried them and decluttered them. They're not my favorite, and I don't find them very plumping. So this would be a great like reboot to kind of refresh the formula and make it a little bit more competitive with what's currently on the market. So the last like category of things that I would like to see are some like cheek products. So the first thing that I would like to see are some cinnamon bun bronzers. Again, because the cinnamon or like the bronzers come in the like in a circular pan, I figured it would be great to do a circular compact that actually looks like the character Cinnamon Bun. And it would be really cool if Colourpop dipped their toes into scented products and did like a cinnamon bun scented bronzer. So I thought that would be really cool. But the thing that I want to emphasize for this collection that I haven't seen Colourpop really do before is to have the same bronzer but in different tones. So the cinnamon bun bronzer would be a nice like neutral, you know, bronzer, but I'd like for them to come out with 3 options of the same bronzer in the same compact but different undertones. So like one for fair to light skin, one for medium to tan skin and one for deep to dark skin. So that way everyone can have a cinnamon bun bronzer that actually works for them, because most of the time they are kind of notorious for coming out with one or two bronzers that don't really cater to a wide range of skin tones. Kind of going off of this, I would like to see a Prismo blush. So if you don't know, Prismo is a character introduced in like the back half of the series in like season 5. He is kind of a series favorite. He steals the show. He's voiced by Kumail Nanjiani, who's amazing himself. So it makes sense that his character would be super cool. And Prismo is like in a box constantly. I'll pop a picture up so that way you can see, obviously. But I think that that shape would be great for a blush compact because it's already kind of a square, right? Along with that, Prismo is pink, and so it makes sense that Prismo would be turned into a blush shade. So again, just like with the bronzers, I'd like to see that bright poppy pink, but I'd like to see one that's a little bit lighter and then one that's a little bit more saturated. So that way, again, people have the option depending on their skin tone. This is something that like indie brands like Sydney Grace do, and it can be done, it just hasn't been. So I think that this collab would be an awesome opportunity for Colourpop to turn the page and create options for everyone and not just the same light pink blush that they always do. I'd like for this one to be, just like Prismo, a little bit like rosier, almost leaning coral than just like a straight bubblegum pink. Although that is a pretty popular color right now with like Persona Bubble, so who knows? It could go either way so long as they have options for different skin tones within the line. All right, the last product that I would like to see is my favorite, and I'm so excited. I'm excited for the concept, but it's not an actual thing, but I wish it was. I think it'd be so cool. I would love to see a Super Shock highlighter brick from Colourpop. It would be themed for Lady Rainicorn, who is rainbow colored, and so the brick itself would be like one of those like circa 2016 rainbow highlighting bricks with the different colors within it, but it would be the Super Shock formula. I think that that would be a huge seller for Colourpop if it literally had Lady Rainicorn on it as like a rectangular brick on the packaging, and then you open it up and it's just a bunch of Super Shocks within it in like different cool iridescent colors. I know that Colourpop did a highlighting quad in their recent like Opal collection, and it seems like it's been getting really good reviews, at least from people that I watch here on YouTube. And so I think that that would be a major seller for Colourpop. And personally, I love the Super Shock highlighting formula. I have 3 of them and they're all wonderful, and I would love to see some like more colorful options in the formula and something more compact than like a palette, you know, but with those different options within it. So those are all of my picks for what I would like to see as a Colourpop Adventure Time collab. Let me know what you think about these potential products, or what products you would like to see in a collab, or what, you know, IPs or different like creators or whatever else Colourpop could collaborate with. And let me know what are some things that you would like to see for the future of Colourpop, some different directions that they could go, because I feel like they've been getting a little bit stale. Let me know what you all think down below, and I can't wait to see what Maggie has done with her video. She showed me some concept art she'd created, and it's amazing. So if you haven't seen her video, be sure to check it out. I've linked it below. Check out her channel. She has great content. She's got a great sense of humor, and as always, I'm so happy to be working with her. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and until I see you next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye!